Hello, welcome to the next step in the MAE deck. We're going to do the Angmar Awakened cycle, which begins with the Lost Realm deluxe box. The first quest is Intruders of Chetwood. We are going to do the fluff and the setup here. And then we'll do the main game in a separate video. So there is quite a lot of story here. So if you like story, lovely for you. If you don't, feel free to skip on. The house of Elrond was bustling with preparations. Fall was turning the leaves on the trees of Rivendell to flaming colours, and the valley echoed with the singing of merry voices. The elves were gathering the last of the summer harvest to celebrate the autumnal equinox. All were busy, except the master of the house and his guests, a band of weary travellers who had recently arrived from important errands in Gondor and Dunland. The heroes were tired from a journey of many leagues, fraught with peril, and Elrond had welcomed them to rest in his home and tell what they could of their adventures. In the Hall of Fire, Elrond spoke with the heroes at length concerning their service to the White Council. Many great deeds they had done to forestall the growing power of Mordor, and for their acts of valour, Elrond made them honoured guests and bid them stay until they were refreshed. While they spoke with the Elf Lord, a messenger entered the hall to announce another traveller newly come to Rivendell. Behind him stood a tall man of proud bearing. He wore the weather-stained garb of the ranger. From the man's appearance, it was clear that his errand was urgent. "Megavanan Dunedain," said Elrond. "The sons of Valandil are welcome in Imladris." The ranger placed his hand over a hawk pendant he wore on a chain around his neck and bowed. "My lord," he spoke, "my name is..." Now, we're going to have to agree on a pronunciation of this because he's through the whole cycle. I'm going to say Iarion. "My name is Iarion, and I have ridden here in haste to seek my kinsman Aragorn. There is great evil afoot in the untamed lands north of Bree, and we rangers have need of our chieftain." "The son of Arathorn is not here," answered Elrond, which would be very awkward if Aragorn actually was in our party, but there we go. Gesturing for the ranger to sit in the empty chair next to him, he continued, "But tell me more of your errand. Long hath the Dunedain kept the villages of Bree safe with secret vigil, yet seldom have they sought for aid in that thankless task. What evil drives you here now?" The ranger took the seat that was offered him before explaining, "Orcs have been discovered west of the Weather Hills, in greater numbers than we have seen them in many years. They are spying out the land, and we believe they plan to attack." "Alas, Aragorn is far afield with my sons and the warriors of my house," replied Elrond. "Until they return, I have no one to send to your aid." Iarion looked downcast, but mastered himself before speaking. "Then I must return at once to my kinsmen, and help them prepare as best I may." "I will tell your chieftain of the threat to his people as soon as he returns," said the Elf Lord. The ranger stood up, bowed to Elrond, and turned to leave, but the heroes who were sitting there rose to their feet and stepped forward. "We will come with you," spoke one, and the rest nodded in agreement. "I thank you, strangers," replied Iarion. "But as Master Elrond has said, our deeds are secret and thankless. We Dunedain receive no reward for our sacrifice, and neither do we have any to offer." "Hunting orcs is its own reward," said the hero evenly, and continued. "We will not sit idle here while you and your folk fight this battle, not while we have strength left. We will come," using the most generic voice I can for generic heroes. "Then let us ride swiftly to the aid of my people," said Iarion, with fresh hope in his eyes. "May the valour of the Valar, may the favour of the Valar be upon each of you in this task," spoke Elrond in farewell. Together the ranger and the heroes bade farewell to the last homely house. They rode west from the valley of Rivendell towards the villages of Breeland. They followed the old road over the last bridge all the way to the southern end of the Weather Hills. There they turned aside to climb Weathertop, the tallest of the hills. Its summit commanded a great view of the surrounding area, and Iarion told his companions there would be rangers keeping vigil there. From them, the Dunedain hoped to learn some news before passing on. The singular of Dunedain, I guess. When they reached the top, they found two Dunedain greeted them. "Ho, Iarion, I see you have brought others to help us, but I fear it may be too late," said one of them grimly. A large number of orcs descended from the hills last night. A war party, it seemed to us, but moving warily and avoiding the road. We watched them creep north and west along the edge of the marsh until they disappeared beyond the fens. It is likely that they mean to come upon the villages of Breland from the north, replied Iarion, looking in the direction the rangers indicated. Our people in Chetwood must be warned. One of you take my horse and ride with haste to do so. My companions and I will follow the orcs and do what we can to delay them. Turning to the heroes, Iarion laid his hand on the pommel of his sword as he addressed them. There are many lonely homesteads north of Bree. We must do what we can to track these orcs and safeguard these people. Come! And there we go. It's Stop the War Party. It is a single-stage quest, which is very interesting. We should probably read the setup side first. Rangers have sighted a large group of orcs making its way towards Breland. The Dunedain Iarion has asked you to help him intercept the war party before it can reach the quiet village. The orcs are a day ahead of you and moving fast, but there is still hope. You can catch them with the Rangers' tracking skill. Setup, put Iarion into play. Add one orc war party to the staging area. Each player adds one different location to the staging area. Shuffle the encounter deck. So let's take a look at those cards. So Iarion, who is going to be frequent throughout this cycle, has X on all his stats and 4 hit points, and X is the number of quest cards in play. This is when they brought side quests into the game. I don't have any side quests in my deck, but the encounter deck has plenty. And of course, the quest card itself is 1, so at worst, he's 1/1/1. Response after a side quest is revealed from the encounter deck. Ready Iarion. If he leaves play, the players lose the game. The Orc War Party, which we must add to the area, is a vile creature with 40 threat, 40 engagement, 40 threat, jeez, 40 engagement, 3 threat, 6 attack, 3 defense, 6 hit points, cannot have attachments while the Orc War Party is in the staging area. Enemies in the staging area cannot take damage. It's not a problem for us. We don't have any abilities to do that. The players cannot win the game while the Orc War Party is in play. So a very beefy, unpleasant enemy, to say the least. The location that I've chosen, having gone through the decks, is Rugged Country, 2 threat, 3 quest, and if the current quest is a side quest, it gets extra threat. And so let's flip to the B side. 30 progress required. You must move swiftly to prevent orcs from reaching Breland. Enemies do not make engagement checks. Forced, at the end of the refresh phase, raise each player's threat by 1 for each enemy in the staging area. The players cannot defeat this stage unless the first player controls Iarion, and if the players defeat this stage, they win the game. So Iarion can get captured by like one of the side quests, so that's how that happens. So no time mechanic. Hooray, hurrah. So we're not in quite such a rush. So 6 card starting hand, Gondorian Shield, so it's looking good already. Gladron Weaver, not bad. Rivendell Blade, okay. Lembus, fine. Another Gondorian Shield, and a Treebeard. Ooh, that's unfortunate, because that means we can't really play Treebeard. But I think that's a starting hand worth keeping. So let's sink into the quest itself.